Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everybody to our December 4th Board of Trustees meeting. It's nice to see new faces as well as some familiar faces. Roll call, please.
Eichel?
Present.
Shinneberry? Present. Siamaco?
Present.
All right, thank you. So Pat, we'll go to you with public comment.
Currently, there is no public comment request this evening.
Okay. Moving on to trustee comment, ladies.
Well, the only thing I have to say is keep sending me the aqua water letters of hardship. I still have a ways to go before I can do anything substantial with it, so anyone you know, keep telling them, please, and thank you.
I have just two things. Last meeting, I was talking about HB 315. I did send a letter to our Senator DeMora, asking him to support that since it greatly affects townships. I received a message back from his legislative aide yesterday morning that he is very supportive of the township law updates in HB 315, and that he has met several times with the Ohio Township Association and is grateful for their work on HB 315. That's the gist of that. There's more, but and the only other thing I wanted to announce is that this Saturday from 9 to 11 is the free breakfast with Santa here at the township. In your newsletter, it looks like this. It's this little red reminder, and it's a free pancake breakfast. Reservations are requested, but it's a great time for the kids and the families to come. There's a photo op with Santa in addition to the free breakfast and everything.
Trustee Heichel, can I make a quick comment?
Yes.
On House Bill 315, there was an email that they asked that we send what it costs us to put things in.
Right.
I sent that today.
Oh, thank
So
you.
I
'Cause
knew,
I sent you.
I knew the cost of the dispatch, I knew the cost of the Daily Reporter, so I sent that today. They're gathering all the costs from local townships so they can go to the legislature.
I had handwritten that extra comment down as a tag, and I forgot to mention it. Yeah, there were, well, yesterday was the hearing number 3, and they actually had somebody that wasn't supporting it that came to give a testimony. It was the Cincinnati Enquirer and Gannett-owned publications, and they were in support of still requiring townships to have to post public notices in newspapers, which is one of the things that we're hoping that HB 315 accomplishes, that we can just use electronic means to do that. But in helping to support 315, they did ask for the cost of those, what it costs us to have to put them in newspapers since they're few and far between and everything, which Administrator Myers was just talking about. So the townships were all invited to and asked to send in how much it actually costs them to do that. So thank you for being prompt in doing that.
A single notice for a zoning meeting and the Cause Dispatch is $415.
Wow. And there's a time lag too.
Yeah. The Daily Reporter is cheaper, but based on time frame, sometimes we can't use them because they can't get it printed in time for the notice, so we have to default to the dispatch. So it can be substantial over time. So
yeah, so
it's a good bill.
Yeah, so it is a good bill. I hope it passes because there's a lot of things that'll help the township. Now, sorry.
That's okay. All right. I've got a couple of things. So our Christmas tree back here is an angel tree by the Salvation Army. And there are tags on the tree that look like this. Each tag will be labeled for a boy or for a girl, and then it will give the age range. And if you want to be an angel for a child in need, you can just pick up a tag. It gives you suggestions of what the child would like to have. It's a very good program, and they try very hard to have children in our area, that's where they search first. On the back of the tags, it tells you what to do with the gifts. You just get a gift, bring it back up here, unwrapped, and that would be by December 15th, and that's marked on the tag. So if everybody opens their hearts so generously during the Christmas season to the variety of options out there, and if this is something that you might want to do, I'll be doing it with both of these tags. We appreciate that. Something else I have, ladies, it's not on the agenda, but I've thought about this, and I want to do this. So in May of 2021, Blendon Township requested a special audit be performed by the Auditor of State after Administrator Brian Rose resigned his employment. Based on the preliminary feedback from the state auditor, I want to make the following motions. The first motion is the prosecutor's office motion, and I will go ahead and move to send a letter to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office asking that they reconsider their previous denial to proceed with criminal charges and accept the criminal prosecution referral from the Auditor of State's special audit findings that former Blendon Township Administrator Brian Rhodes illegally obtained more than $103,000 of taxpayer money. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor and seconded to send the letter to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, as I just stated. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
Heichel?
Yes.
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, the second motion is a letter motion. I, again, will move to authorize Township Administrator Pat Myers to work with the legal counsel to prepare a letter and forward that letter to all Township residents regarding the results of the special audit conducted by the Ohio Auditor of State concerning former Township Administrator Brian Rhodes. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. There is a motion on the floor and seconded to authorize Township Administrator Pat Myers to work with legal counsel to prepare the letter as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Heichel?
Yes.
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, ladies. That concludes my trustee comments. So moving on to fiscal report, I'll go ahead and take the lead. Meeting minutes, the meeting minutes for November 20th. Ladies, have you had the opportunity to review those?
Yes. I'll move to approve the trustee meeting minutes as presented.
I'll second.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve meeting minutes for November 20th, 2024. Any discussion?
Heichel?
Yes?
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you. And the purchase orders. Have you had the opportunity to review those?
Yes, I will move to approve the purchase orders as presented.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor and seconded to approve the purchase orders as presented. Any discussion?
Heichel?
Yes?
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
All right, and paying the bills is a big one. Did you have the opportunity to review those?
Yes, and I will move to pay the bills as presented.
And I'll second that.
Motion on the floor and seconded to pay the bills as presented. Any discussion?
Heichel?
Yes?
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Okay, bank reconciliations. Same thing, opportunity to review?
Yes. I will move to approve the October 2024 bank reconciliation.
I will second.
Motion on the floor and seconded to approve the October 2024 bank reconciliations. Any discussion?
Nope.
Heichel?
Yes?
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Okay, and lastly, all right, I'm going to pass this one to you, if that's okay.
Yes, so the final motion, there was a motion made March 13th of 2024 for approval of the annual paving program, where appropriations were requested from the road fund. Should have been requested from the permissive license fund. We don't have the capacity in the road fund. So a motion to amend the motion made March 13th, 2024 for the approval of the annual paving program for appropriations in the permissive active license fund.
I will go ahead and make that motion as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, motion on the floor and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Heickel?
Yes?
Shineberry?
Yes.
Siyamaka?
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Back to Pat.
Thank you. First on the agenda, I had mentioned cemetery pricing. I want to table that. There's still a couple things Matt and I want to work with Taylor on before we present you with final on that. A couple tweaks we want to make. So the rules and regulations have been approved. We want a couple more things we want to look at the pricing on. So we'll get back to you and have it ready for December 18th meeting. Next, the commercial building inspector. I spoke to you last meeting about we wanted to give notice to Tool and Associates and hire a company called Building Health, Safety, and Welfare, LLC, to do our commercial building inspection. I'm not going to ask Chief Miller to speak, but he knows the gentleman that has this company. The gentleman's worked with the city of Westerville a lot, and actually was a Westerville employee, I think, at one point, and going out on his own. Legal counsel has looked at the agreement. It pretty much mirrors what Tool. It's more of a ad hoc, only pay when we use type situation. But we'd like you to approve that agreement and allow me to sign that agreement with them.
Okay, I will move to cancel the current agreement with Toll and Associates and authorize you to sign the new agreement with Building Health, Safety, and Welfare LLC for commercial building inspection.
I'll second.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to cancel the agreement with Tool and Associates and authorize Township Administrator Myers to sign the new agreement with Building Health, Safety, and Welfare LLC for our commercial building inspection. Any discussion?
Heickel?
Yes?
Shineberry?
Yes.
Siyamaka?
Yes.
Thank you. I think we'll get much better response on our needs for that. Next, there is a zoning commission recommendation, CZ 2024-03, a map amendment. Going to come to you, will be coming to you. You don't have the information yet. You will receive it from Adam tomorrow or Friday with all the materials. But today, all we need you to do is set the hearing date for that, and Adam will take care of the publication and notice of that meeting. So really all we're asking you to do is set the hearing. I suggest we set it for 7:30 p.m. on the 18th, so we'll have our regular meeting. It should give us time to leave this meeting and go back, and then come back and do the hearing. That'll give time for public comment on that, and then you guys will review it and ultimately possibly make a decision that night. But tonight is just setting the hearing.
Okay, well, I will move to set the public hearing before the Board of Trustees for zoning case number CZ 2024-03 on December 18th, 2024 at 7:30 at the Blendon Township Senior Center located at 6330 South Hempstead Road, Westerville, and further authorize and direct the zoning inspector to make the amendment available for public examination and to give notice of this public hearing by publication, all in accordance with applicable law.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor for Board of Zoning hearing CZ 2024-03 map amendment hearing as presented. Any discussion? Hearing none?
Heickel?
Yes?
Shineberry?
Yes.
Siyamaka?
Yes.
Thank you. And Adam, finish. So next, we've been talking about the floor plans for the three buildings, not the police, but the administration, the senior center, and the maintenance department. Reached out to several vendors, quotes from a couple vendors. The Pizzazz Group, after discussion with you folks in the trustees in the last meeting, we weren't so interested in having a 3D tour, rather just the floor plans. We'll get two different sets of those. One they call Dollhouse, one they call Above. And it's $1,100 to do the production, $1,100 to do the post-production. So I would ask for approval of the purchase order not to exceed $2,200. There'll be no monthly because we won't be hosting that. We'll just be getting the actual floor plans. So the Pizzazz Group would do that for us.
We already have appropriations established for this,
No.
so we need
To do the
We've established.
appropriation, right?
from the general fund.
Yes, yeah, general fund appropriation, I'm sorry. So add that to the motion, please, and approve appropriation from the general fund. Thank you, Joanne.
notes here. I will go ahead and move to approve the purchase order to SAS Group not to exceed $2,200 to create a 3D floor plans for the administration building, maintenance building, and senior center, and establish appropriations from the general fund.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor and seconded. Any discussion?
Michael?
Yes?
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Lastly, with Dave Lilly retiring, we all know that Sherelle retired and we replaced the senior center director. It's been a great transition. The new senior center director, Val Shaw, is doing a great job for us so far. But we were looking at the whole bus driver, van driver situation. We had 2 part-time people with Dave leaving and Mom wanting to kind of pair back as well. She's not wanting to even kind of work full part-time, so to speak. We really decided to look at a full-time position. I talked to Joanne about can we afford that in the budget, and it made sense. So we did some interviewing, and I'm happy to say we found someone that I think would do a great job for us. CDL drivers, work for the city of Westerville, driving bus for special needs children, and has lived in the township, I don't want to say his whole life, a long time, from what I understand. And I would ask that we make an offer of employment to Travis Hunt to be a full-time bus driver. When he's not driving the bus, he'll be setting up these tables and moving those chairs and putting that Christmas tree up and a whole lot of other stuff. With a start date of December 18th-ish. He and I will probably discuss that exact date, but that's 2 weeks from today is when I put it in. So I would ask for a motion to do that.
I will make the motion to hire Travis Hunt as a full-time bus driver at the rate of $20 per hour with a start date of December 18th, 2024-ish.
I'll second.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor and seconded to hire Travis Hunt. Any discussion?
Yeah, would you explain to anybody who may not be aware why we need bus drivers
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
the senior center, because they may not know about the trips and
Absolutely.
everything.
So there's a couple things we do here. We have a van, and Wanda lives in Hideaway over here, and she can't drive. So we pick Wanda up and we bring her here, and she does her thing. She plays poker and euchre and all kinds of other stuff. We take, for a small fee for gas and travel, we take people to doctor's appointments that are members here. And then a lot of things with the van. There's probably a half dozen people we transport every day. Ernie and Wanda, and I could name them all. And then secondly, we have a bus, and it seats 22 people. And throughout the year, except for maybe December to February, kind of pairs back because of wintertime, we do trips. They might go up to Mansfield, go to Der Dutchman and have breakfast and do this. They go to mystery lunch every month where they're not told where they're going to lunch, and they sign up, and people, they do that. So we use the bus for those type of trips. They're always doing some sort of activity on a monthly basis using the bus, more than monthly actually, in the spring and summer. So the bus is for trips, for larger groups, and the van is for kind of day-to-day helping the seniors be able to be here and be involved and not be alone and those type of things. So Travis would drive the bus and the van. Yvonne will still be here doing some van. Cindy can drive the van. Val can drive the van. The other day, Mitsu drove the van, took Wanda home because we were shorthanded. So the van's not the issue because you don't need a CDL for that. So we'll always have someone to do that, but we needed someone, we felt there was a need for full-time because when there's not trips, there's always something to do here. If you've ever been here on a regular basis in the middle of the day, you wouldn't believe the activity here. So that bus driver, Travis, will be able to help out Cindy with doing projects and moving things and changing things and cleaning things and all the other stuff. So, but that's why we have a bus in the van, day-to-day and then trips.
Thanks for adding that.
No, that's great. I appreciate that. Travis is here. Say hi to him. Hi, Travis. Glad you're here, and we look forward to you joining us.
Yes, welcome.
Did you vote?
We haven't voted yet.
Okay. Okay.
We better do that before we vote.
All right, so I did make the motion and we seconded and we had the discussion, so we'll call for the vote, please.
Michael?
Yes.
Shinneberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Now, welcome.
2 no's would have been no fun for me right there. Welcome aboard, Travis. Thank you. And we'll talk tomorrow, okay? That's all I have unless you have something for me.
I don't. Okay, so we do have a human resources category, Pat, you,
Yeah, I kind of bundled them together. That was my human resources piece right there,
okay,
so.
all right. So.
Oh, I did have one more thing, I'm sorry. I think I might have mentioned this before, but I will mention Jefferson Health Plan, where Tarma and I, we had meetings. They talked about what insurance is going to look like this year, and our 2025 renewal was $0 increase for our insurance. So I'm not saying I negotiated that, but I did meet with them, talk about it, and we were happy to find out that they won't be raising our rates this year at all. So you don't hear that a lot, so that's good.
That's wonderful news. All right, Matt, you're up.
Yeah, I'd like to ask the Board of Trustees for approval to purchase a 2025 Polaris Ranger UTV with a snow blade. For my pony, $21,855.68. This will allow us to keep the sidewalks clean along Whistle Road. We have over 1.5 miles of sidewalks that we need to keep clean and don't have the equipment to do it. And this piece of equipment will be used every day in the cemetery, along the roads for picking up trash, concerts in the park. And Iron Pony had the best price, and I think would be, yeah, it's on state bid, and it's well under, $10,000, what everybody else said, John Deere and Kubota, so it's a really good price, and it would be a very good asset for the township to have.
We also need to request appropriations from the gas tax fund for that.
Okay, I'll go ahead and move to approve the purchase order to Iron Pony in the amount of $21,865.68 for the purchase of a 2025 Polaris side-by-side and establish appropriations from the gas tax fund.
I will second.
There is a motion on the floor and seconded to approve the order from Iron Pony for the 2025 Polaris side-by-side. Any discussion?
Yeah, this all came about because we didn't have the right equipment for the,
We do not have.
yeah, I just want to make sure everyone knows.
Yeah,
that's
I was
not-
gonna make a comment about that. So from Paris Boulevard all the way to 270, that whole strip of sidewalk, with our staffing, the only way to do that is by hand, snow blower, shovel, and we don't have the staffing to do that. So by the time they plow regular roads, which I know the public loves what these guys do with that, this is gonna allow us to do that as well. And we'll also use it here with these sidewalks, this stuff, in the wintertime. But in the summer, the guys jump in that, they go get trash at Ridgewood Park, they go get trash here, they get trash there. When we do the Constitution Park, they load it with all the stuff that we take and go. We have an old one,
16.
from 2016. It's not going anywhere. The value of trading that in or getting, it's more valuable to have both of them. Mitsu could take off with one to the concert and the other one could go to another place. So, but those sidewalks just weren't getting done because there just wasn't. So if people are walking the sidewalks, and they do, in the wintertime, it's not getting done, so.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none?
Heickel?
Yes?
Shinaberry?
Yes.
Siamaco?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
Chief Belford?
The contract between Blendon Township and the police officers, the police, is getting ready to expire. We have begun scheduling negotiations with myself, township administrator, and our legal counsel, Pete Griggs, and the FOP. That will start next week, and we'll keep you posted on updates on the negotiations as we go along. But I want to point out that there is a durability clause in the contract, so the contract continues on under the same rates of pay and the same conditions while it's being negotiated. Some people were under the impression that if a contract expires, everything stops. In fact, it's just the opposite. Everything goes on day by day, business as usual, with no changes until the new contract is in place. But we are on schedule with that, and we'll be doing updates about that.
All right, thank you. Chief Miller?
And another contract, the contract between Westerville and Blendon Township for fire protection. in a review of documents earlier this year, it was brought to our attention that that contract had expired. The fire board got together, I met with Administrator Myers, and the contract was based when the new Station 112 was built in 2003. And it was to help pay off the bonds and fund that station. So the station was paid off last year, and so those bonds are all now over. So with that, it was time for us to renew the contract. So we went through and looked at it. I dropped off a copy of it with Administrator Myers this morning for the board's review. Westerville City Council's reviewed it, and they voted on it last night, and they approved it. But it's also contingent on the trustees reviewing it. And if any changes need to be made, we can make those and move forward with it. So.
Yeah, if it pleases the board, what my goal would be is to scan that to Pete and have him review it first, because I know your legal counsel reviewed it. If Pete reviews it and says, it looks good to me, then send it to you and have you review it and have any questions. If you have questions, we can get back to Pete. But at least have that first review from legal counsel that says the same thing they did, if that's okay with you guys. Again, I got it today, I'll scan it over to Pete, and once he gives me feedback, I can come send it to you with the feedback Pete might have.
What's our timing on this, Chief?
We have some time, so our council was trying to get it, their last meeting was last night, December 3rd. They were just trying to get it wrapped up before we got into our winter break. But you know, if it's after the first of the year, it's okay. There's no immediate need for it. Everything in the contract kind of remained the same. You know, we're still collecting based on the levies. The other thing that was really taken out was the language involving, there was language in there about when we were still maintaining the firehouse next door and us occupying it, and then just the gap between the times the bonds were started and the station construction started. So a lot of that language was removed. The other thing that was added was the initial term was 10 years, and then it would automatically renew every 5 years thereafter. But there's also a 2-year cancellation clause for, I believe, both parties. But again, yeah, legal should review it, and then, you know, obviously back to the trustees for your.
Well, I think if Pete gets it this week and gets it back to me the first of next week, that still gives you guys almost 2 weeks to review it and give me questions. So we could act on the 18th and know going into 25 it's done. I mean, that would be my goal if that's okay with you all. Okay. That's what I'll do. Okay.
All right, great. Thank you.
And the other thing I have is obviously it's getting colder out, so our concerns, if you have a live Christmas tree in your home, make sure it's watered. We've also had a drought this year, so I'm really concerned about Christmas trees this year, especially the live ones. And the other thing is it's getting colder. Your furnace and fireplace, carbon monoxide runs will start to increase here pretty soon. So if you have gas-fired appliances in your homes, or even if you have a car, like if you, some people warm up their cars, make sure the garage door's open and make sure you have working carbon monoxide detectors. So carbon monoxide's odorless and colorless, and you probably won't even know what's going on until it's unfortunately too late. So that's our recommendation for that, and I hope everybody, probably see everybody on December 18th. If not, I hope you have a great holiday and keep safe. So that's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, announcements. Kathy already shared with you about Breakfast with Santa this coming Saturday from 9 till 11. The next trustee meeting is December 18th, 6:30, same location, also live stream. And that wraps this up. So I'll take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So
59.
Thank you. And did you
She seconded. She
Okay,
seconded.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor and seconded to adjourn at 6:59.
No, I made the motion.
Oh, you made the motion,
I
I'm sorry.
said so moved. I
Gotcha.
didn't hear a second.
I second.
Oh, okay.
Good. Motion on the floor and seconded to adjourn the meeting at 6:59. Everybody have a safe trip home. Congratulations again to the Hunt family. And we will see you in 2 weeks, if not before.